All right, there we go. There we go. I was trying to talk before, but I noticed my mic wasn't showing any input on OBS, so I had to fix that for a second. Anyways, welcome everybody to another casted game showing for the Age of Empires 3 Definitive Edition PK Player Killers Clan Tournament. And here I am. So, we're going to get to look at some more games tonight, which should be pretty fun. I know you enjoyed coming last night, so I just want to at least get a few more done tonight. Probably not a lot of them because, well, I got work in the morning and got some urgent stuff to do, but I just wanted to at least get done what I could with you. So yeah, basically. Hopefully you're all doing good tonight. I'm going to be pretty surprised if we get a lot of people tonight to watch, but if they want to come live, go right ahead. If not, watch it a bit later. That's what this is all about, right? So, yeah. Hopefully you're all having fun tonight. Had a good weekend. I sure did. Got to do some Colosseum Budokai, which is pretty good. So, yeah, that was awesome. And, trying to think what else. Oh, yeah. Good news for the Wars of Liberty fans out there. People have been being very diligent with their Wars of Liberty recordings and submitting them, so we're probably going to get a stream of that this week. Oh, we definitely will now because people have been doing a good job submitting those. That's great. All I'm doing now is just sharing the Discord servers the link to the stream so they can come on and join if they want to. If they don't want to and they want to watch it later, they can do that as well. It's up to them, right? So, thankfully, just like I did last night, I added any additional recordings that weren't already added, which there actually were a few. Also, I made sure to see where we are in the list, so I don't actually have to go back to look at that. This night, I'm even more certain than I was last night of that, so good for us, I guess, right? Yeah, definitely. I don't know why when I first went live, why the mic wasn't plugged in perfectly. Well, I think it was plugged in. Maybe it wasn't in the full USB port or something. I don't know. Because I checked on OBS and said, alright, are you sure you're using the right microphone? And turns out it was, so I don't know what that was all about. But either way, we're here. We're just waiting a few moments till I can share the stream with all the Disky servers, and we should be all set. And yeah, I think this one probably won't be very large, though. Just warn ya. Might even be a bit smaller than the last one. So yeah, I just wanted to get a few done because, as I said last time, we are basically going into the second phase of this PK tournament. So all this old preliminary stuff is kind of old news at this point. And I want to get you all through that as quickly as possible so we can cover the new stuff going forward. All these preliminary ones were all best out of ones, and the stuff you're going to see going forward are going to be, I believe, best out of threes. So full, actual, real series between the players there. So it should be pretty fun. Get to see some real rivalries there, which will be great. And yeah, that should be pretty awesome. So, yep, that'll be good. Also, remember this week, too, that the Age of Empires 2 Definitive Edition Chronicles Alexander the Great DLC will be releasing on Tuesday, and we will be the first, as soon as that thing comes out, to do the campaigns live. That'll be good. Unless you want to host some Chronicles lobbies for me to join. I could do that, too, but odds are, when the first Battles of Greece one came out, I expected a ton of people to want to play those civs in multiplayer. And nobody really wanted to, you know? And the people that I knew that did want to, they weren't online. So I was sitting there moping around looking for people for like an hour or something. I'm like, I'm not doing this anymore. I'm going into the campaign, and that's what I ended up doing. And from then on, anything Chronicles related. I'm just going to do the campaign from the start and come back and check later to see if there's any lobbies for it. Because the thing is, if you give players an option not to include ancient civs in a medieval game, they're probably not going to let you use them for a majority of the people. So, yeah, democracy was not on my side that day, unfortunately. Fortunately, it was not. Democracy was against me that day, which is not good. But, yeah. But anyways, I'm almost done. Just give me a few more seconds. Moving along even quicker than last night, so that's great. It really is. I'm trying to remember if I got everything here too. Is this the right one? Or nah, I think this is a new one I'm doing now. Alright, there we go. Very nice. Okay, and I think we got two more servers to do up here. 3 more actually, and then we should be all set. Yeah, big time. That one. Donde está that one? And one more to do right here. Okay. I think I ate enough food tonight when I got back from whatever I was doing, so I have enough energy to do this now, which is great. Is anybody here? Cool. Welcome, Thucydides, if that's your name. We're going to do some casting right now. First game is going to be I Am Person versus Yusuf. This should be first game of the night. Hopefully you enjoy it. Should be pretty fun. Alright, so we got Yusuf here and I Am Person. Yusuf is playing the Aztecs, and I Am Person is also playing as the Aztecs. So we have an Aztec mirror here. First one of this tournament, actually. So if you love Aztec gameplay, this is going to be pretty entertaining for you. So, Aztecs. What do you need to know about Aztecs in competitive? Thing you need to understand is they love their community plazas. That's really the center of their gameplay, is the community plaza. It's the community plaza and your ability to manage it well is what determines how good you are with the Aztecs a lot of the time. So what you do is at the start, build a community plaza, pretty cheap, and put your warrior priest on it to help generate some XP for you right out of the get-go. Gets you about 1 XP point per second at the start of the game, so quite reliable for getting some quicker shipments. The other thing you want to do is run out onto the map with your war chief and your Eagle Scout and try to get a bunch of treasures. As many treasures as you can. But here's the catch. When you're trying to fight the treasure guardians, always try to eliminate the treasure guardian, like kill it, so to speak, with the Eagle Scout. You know why? Because the war chief has an aura that allows allied units to do more XP bounty from killed units. So if you let the other unit do the killing, then you're actually going to get more of an XP bounty from it. So just thought I'd put that out there for you to know. Yeah, if you do it with the war chief, you won't get the reward, but if you do it with the Eagle Scout or perhaps one of the treasure guardian humans that you convert, then you'll get it. Interesting fact, huh? Yeah. It's something I didn't even know until I saw Julian K going over it one time in his online guide that I purchased, which is a really good guide that you should consider purchasing as well, because it gives you some good strategies to learn about differences. But either way, that's what we're sort of seeing from both sides here. Warrior priests on the community plaza, and tons of treasure searching and treasure hunting here. Yeah. XP for I Am Person, and then Yusuf got some wood, it looks like, so everybody's doing a good job with the treasure hunting aspect of things. What do the decks look like? So, Russian Aztecs. This sounds like an aggro deck. This sounds like this is going to be used for aggro. So we're probably going to see all these Anton Slingers, Pumas, Coyote Runners, even these Mayan Javelineers being used right out of the gate. And the opponent is running Rush. So this is going to be a double aggro situation, I think. We're going to see a lot of early combat from both Aztecs. I'm assuming they're going Messenger, right? The Messenger and the Elder. Oh, the Elder. Interesting. So one's going with the Elder, one is going with the Messenger. So a bit of diversity in politician choice. We'll see how that ends up going. Right. Let's see. Yep, Eagle Scout's coming back to help take this treasure. This is the big 210 XP one. This one's pretty substantial if I Am Person can get it. It's going to be pretty rewarding for the rush, because that means a whole nother unit shipment that they're going to be able to pump out right away. So yeah, let's see if they end up being able to do that pretty much. Yeah. Okay, so Yusuf already has his war hut being constructed, so he's a bit ahead of the game there right now. Also, he is going to contest this treasure too. Unfortunately, he doesn't get it. Yeah, I Am Person is still able to get it, which is great for him, horrible for Yusuf. But Yusuf is ahead of the game on the war hut, sticking it right here on top of these two hunts. So this is pretty major here. This is good map control to control all of this food. And it gives Yusuf the chance to herd back one of these hunts more in his direction, giving him a much bigger supply of food there, right? Another thing you do with the Aztecs right away is get your big button from the town center here to get some of your Jag Knights early. Normally you can only make Jag Knights in Fortress Age and beyond, but using the emergency big button at the town center, you can get yourself some quick access for Jag Knights, which is quite useful for you. These guys are going to be quite good because they will counter the Coyote Runners through their shock infantry multiplier, and they'll also counter the Puma Spearmen as well through their anti-heavy infantry multiplier. The only thing that will sort of threaten them is obviously other Jag Knights and Anton Slingers. So basically a good power unit in a mirror matchup like this. Alright, so it looks like Yusuf is going Coyote Runners, whereas I Am Person is also queuing up a Coyote Runner, but also shipping in Mayan allies, followed by Antonans. So he's getting the Slingers and the Javelineers. The Javelineers statistically are basically just musketeers, so they're heavy infantry with the range attack. They're a bit different since their range attack is a bit more like an archer, because it has a rate of fire of 1.5 instead of 3, which means for every 3 seconds it actually attacks 2 times of range instead of just once, which is pretty good. But yeah, here we see the Javelineers coming right out in this spot right here. Also, the Jag Knights are rushing the war hut with their decent siege at 36, followed by some Antonans over there. Oh wow, look at this. Look at what I Am Person did. He decided to ship them right out of his war hut to go completely around the push that Yusuf was attempting right there. That's pretty good. Seems like, oh wow, loses a vill, loses another vill, loses another vill. That's 3 villagers dead. That's pretty serious. I mean, all we see from the field from Yusuf right now is some Coyote Runners. He is forced to get his big bun now to get his 4 Jag Knights onto the field, but I think he's in a weaker position here, especially considering he has to reconstruct another war hut in his base, and it's being sieged, so he might not get this one either. Oh, he gets it, but it is damage, right? I Am Person has a huge advantage here because he's got the Javelineers here. He's got some good range support for the rest of his melee troops. And, oh, he's sticking some of them into melee to harass the Antonans. That's pretty good. You know, Antonan Slingers, they're very flimsy. They're very weak in defense. It doesn't take a lot to hit them in melee. Even a Javelineer can potentially threaten them, as you saw right there. Alright, so a few of the Javelineers still alive with the Coyote Runners. They're going to finish off these Slingers. And, oh man, get those vills into the... Oh, lost another one. Look at them. She went flying into the plaza there. That's pretty serious. Yeah, no. I Am Person is on top of his game here. Yeah, and since his base is not being threatened, he can have units on his community plaza. He took all of his vills and he just threw them on. That's pretty smart, because now he's going to get increased attack on all his troops, and he's going to do even more damage now. Right? And he's also shipping in Coyote Runners. And if he wanted to get off and do some gold gathering, he could actually get another batch of the Javelineers too. So in the attacking situation here, it looks like Iron Person has what he needs to beat Yusuf outright. Right? Does Yusuf have any shipments he can rely on as still? He does have a few, but obviously since he's not doing much on the field at this point, besides losing his slingers, he's not going to be able to get shipments out quick enough, I think, to save this town center. Where is it at now? He's got some HP on there, but how many bills has he got? He's got 21 bills. Is that right? Yeah, but they're all stuck in the TC and not gathering. Iron Person can obviously throw his units off the community plaza at any time and resume gathering. That's the difference. That's the difference there. Yeah, but I don't see Yusuf being able to leave this TC anytime soon. This is unfortunate. I think he's pinned and he might end up getting destroyed. Big time. Yeah. Very, very significant there. Yeah. It looks like that TC is going to go down though. Yeah, because there's just nothing Yusuf can defend with. And it looks like Person is gathering resources again and queuing in tons of Puma Spearmen to get that siege done. Wow. Very nice. That should finish off that TC and then allow him to go after the houses next. Cut his population off. Looks like the town centaur is almost done. Okay, some coyote runners there. It's not going to make a difference though because the Puma Spearmen are there now to intercept them. Pretty easy cleanup. I like how he's putting the warrior priest in and out of the town center to harass him as well. Yeah, here comes more Puma Spearmen, and that should be enough to down the town center, I think. Oh wow, look how he's sneaking off of his town center garrison there to get more vills onto the community plaza to make more warrior priests to attack his opponent. Oh no, he's making the emergency troops now, but yeah, way too late. Way too late at that point. That was pretty interesting. It just shows you how bold and spontaneous you have to be in an Aztec mirror. That's a pretty good showing of that, pretty much. Quite nice. But, yeah. Are you casting until the tournament's over? Do you cast on Twitch? This is Stagger and Match. The game is over. For the most part, I've been casting these on my YouTube. Because the thing is, I have a very complex work schedule and streaming schedule that includes stuff other than this tournament. So I end up recording, doing the casting of stuff behind the time, if that makes any sense. So basically, if you want to see stuff live when it happens, you should probably check out the PK Player Killers Clan Twitch channel. But if you don't mind waiting a bit to see this stuff and you want to see my interpretation of it, you can definitely check it out on this channel and I'll give you my scoop on what I think of the games. That's sort of it. I'm kind of doing old news at this point, if that makes any sense. All of these games, I think for the most part, have already been streamed on Player Killers Twitch channel, but since I'm another caster doing stuff for this tournament, I just do it all separately. After the fact, basically. I think at the start I was, sort of doing stuff in lockstep with everyone else, but I sort of fell behind and I'm just trying to catch up at this point. So, yeah. Absolutely. Where are we at now? Right here. Lilbo versus Grogu. Group K. K-Boomer. Alright, so Grogu is Japan, and Lilbo is the España Spaniards. So, let's see how this one goes here. This is a pretty interesting matchup. Spain versus Japan. Trying to think. When's the last time I've seen Spain versus Japan before in a live Definitive Edition tournament? I can't recall, actually. I'm trying to think back to when I used to do production for ESOC, if I've seen any Japans versus Spains that I could reference here. Not that I know of. I mean, theoretically, it's going to be a really tough matchup to decide on because, from my knowledge, both Japan and Spain have always been some pretty heavy hitters in the ranked scene, at least when I used to play it. You know, Japan's were always a pain for me to deal with, and then the Spanish, the same thing. So, yeah, this will be a really tough one to call here, I say. But it really depends on what the strategy is again. Is the Spain going for more of a fast fortress? Or are they committing to more of an aggressive build that we've seen a lot during this tournament? I can tell you personally, during my games in this tournament, the Spains have always been very aggressive. Very aggressive, starting out with some sort of musketeer push. So I wonder if we'll see that here, or we'll see more of a push for Age 3 in the skirmishers. Yeah. So first thing you always do with Spain, as you see right here, get yourself a trading post. As you know, Spain gets shipments very fast because of their civ bonuses, and the trading post makes it that much easier. So they can just cycle through their shipments kind of like the Ottomans do. It's pretty neat. Japan is actually going to start with 2 villager card here. And remember with Japan, a lot of cards, including your villager ones, your military ones, and crate ones, you can send twice. So you can theoretically send this again and get 2 more villagers, leading to a total of 4 villagers instead of just 2. But it's up to you. It depends sort of what your strategy is. For me personally, I prefer to go with Heavenly Kami. But that's at least the meta when you play Wars of Liberty. Definitely on DE, it could totally be different. Pretty much with any sort of game as Japan, the best thing you can do to get ahead, build a ton of shrines. Like, no, get a ton of shrines on the map. Wherever you see a grouping of hunts like this, and see at least 4 animals, put a shrine down. Put a shrine down. Put a shrine down. The more Japan gets, the easier things become for them as far as resource collection, not to mention housing space. And you essentially have very little problems maintaining economy once you get all those established, which is quite nice. Yeah. Torii Gate. So this is probably going to be an aggressive push by Japan. Rule of thumb, if you ever see Japan go for a Torii Gate, that means we're going for all in Age 2 gameplay. Reason is this treasure gives you really good XP bounty from train units as well as killing units. So you're going in there with the big push with Ashigarus, Yumis. You're going to get a ton of XP with that Torii Gate there, backing it up. So that's a good warning always that we're going to see aggressive gameplay from the Japan. As for Spain, let's see what their deck is. 1v1-2. So it's unknown what they're going to do. They could go for a fast fortress and take advantage of Spanish gold, or they could fight it out in H2 and fall back on all their shipments of rods, pikes, and their resource crates. We'll see. I think personally, does Spain know about his wonder? Yes, he does. He does see it. It shows it right here. So he does know what wonder he's going for. So the Spain knows at this point that he's going to be dealing with an aggressive Japan who's going to rush him right out of the gate with Ashigaru muskets out of the barracks. Because the other thing that the Torii Gate Age Up does, it does give you a military rickshaw to build a barracks or a stable with. So he is going to use it to build a barracks, and he's going to start queuing up Ashigarus right out of the get-go there, basically. Japan now goes for the 5 Shrine Wagons card. It's a very formidable card because it gives you 5 rickshaws that you can build shrines with. And essentially it saves you a ton of wood because that's wood that you don't need to spend on it with your explorers. And thus it can use some of that wood to perhaps set up a consulate, get some Yumis to back up your Ashis. Really depends. Even get some of your marketechs like your Yozakura lanterns for the berry gathering. So yeah, look at all these shrines starting to pop up everywhere. This is going to be really nice for Japan. Bringing in 600 wood as well. Yep. So Spain will go for the double barracks musketeer setup. This has been a pretty common setup here for Spain in this tournament. Going double barracks muskets. And basically you try to build a pretty good stack of muskets typically, and then back them up with the rod shipments, with pike shipment, and then eventually get into age 3 and start doing lancers, falconets, skirms, that sort of thing. So right out of the gate we're going to see more muskets coming out, followed by the rods. The rods generally do a good job at snaring your opponent and acting as a good meat shield and distraction, so you're not fighting the muskets pretty much, typically. Going for the big 320 XP treasure here. I wonder if Lilbo will be able to get it. If he can get that, that's going to be quite big, because that means he's likely going to be able to age up very quickly with the gold here. Again, the second rod shipment as well. Okay, so Japan is already pushing with their Ashigarus. He's going to take advantage of his extra movement speed to maneuver around these rods, though they will snare him a bit and make it a bit tough. Yeah, typically Ashigarus are great for combat because they actually have faster movement speed than the average musketeer does. As you see here, musketeers have a movement speed of 4. Ashigarus have a movement speed of 4.5, so they can outrun muskets and they can thus take advantage of micro and get some extra volleys in and make the battle a little bit more in their favor typically. Wow, Lilbo going for another XP treasure. That's pretty big. If he can get that one too, I think our friend Japan is in real trouble. That's a huge shipment advantage for Spain, an astronomical one. Looks like Japan goes for the Dutch allies to get a bank wagon. Quite good. Bank wagon obviously is going to give you a ton of gold through that bank. Also swapping in some Yumi archers as well to gain a multiplier advantage against these muskets and the hand infantry too. So we'll see if this Japan can potentially get archers fast enough to be able to ward off this double barrack Spain. Pikes are on the shrines now, so gonna try to take out as many shrines as possible. It's one of the weak spots you can use against Japan, is their shrines. The more shrines you can take out, the more the Japanese economy begins to shrink a bit. So very good aggressive play there by the Spain, going after the essential shrines. Yumi's forced to micro back from the pikemen as the musketeers just ram right on in and start shooting them like crazy. Yep, that's the whole good thing about hand infantry with Spain. You get a chance to snare the infantry in, make them slow, so the muskets can catch up and just blast them down one by one. It's quite effective. Japan forced to call out some emergency units, while their remaining Ashigarus are forced to retreat a bit. Japan will ship in some Ashigarus and queue up some more Yumi archers. Looks like this is his second shipment of the Ashigaru musket, so he won't get any more in this age. So he's got to make these muskets count. At the Dutch consulate, a church is coming in now, so that'll grant a bit of XP trickle to the Japan. And maybe give him a few extra needed shipments of shrines or resource crates, depending on what he needs. Just trying to figure out what cards he had there. Alright, so from the looks of it, Japan's completely outnumbered now. Doesn't matter if he has the movement speed advantage or the archers there. The muskets are just going to overwhelm, and then whatever hand infantry is left is going to be a nice distraction to help snare them and make it easier for the muskets to pick them apart, which you're seeing right here. Yeah, no. Look, the muskets are right up against his neck right now. Just going to wipe out all that heavy infantry. Looks like Japan is going to be switching to the Japanese isolation too, because you can see him canceling out his current alliance there. Going for Japan is always a good choice, the isolation that is, because it gives your troops a bit more attack. And then you can use your export a bit more freely to train some extra troops. Calling in a Daimyo. Daimyo Mototada, right? Mototada. Yep, Mototada. You remember that one. As well as some Yumi archers here. Doing a good job luring them away from the base for a bit, so you have a bit more breathing room for at least a few moments. That's great. How much export does he got? He's got enough export for 2 Yamabushis, maybe? Yeah. But no, it looks like, unfortunately, the score gap is too wide, and the Japan can't do much there. That's unfortunate. So we'll call that a win for España. Play Santiago. Now we go into the third game of the stream. Let's find it. That waste of rod against Ashigaru, the Japan player will struggle against the Spain. Ooh, interesting. I kind of understand what you mean there, because it seemed like, deployment-wise, Japan really can only afford the barracks that they get through the rickshaw, whereas the Spain was able to basically go double barracks with their easy access to shipments and just overwhelm the Japan player. Yeah, so definitely if I'm going up against Japan, try to maybe go Spain and double musket barracks them. Seems like a good idea. Very good idea. Alright, now we got Kanisi versus Luktom. This should be a good matchup. Seen some Kanisi games in the past before on YouTube. He's pretty solid. He's got a very strong Aztec, I can tell. Yeah, yep, absolutely. I've seen his Aztec before. It's very formidable. Very formidable. I mean, I think it's going to be a little bit weaker because I think the strongest Kanisi Aztecs I've seen is the ones where he has access to water and fish booming of some kind. But I think he'll do pretty good on Great Plains too. We'll just have to wait and see. His opponent, though, is Luktom, who is going with the Ottomans. Ottomans is one of the most popular civs for this tournament, just because of how good they are with their very powerful unit shipments. Quite dangerous. Quite a deadly civ to deal with. Trust me. Also, it's always good when you don't have to manually train your villagers either. That's always good, right? Basically, their town centers are like villager factories, churning them out for free. Yeah, so Ottoman's going to start with the mosque, trickle some XP, get a trading post to bring in huge deliveries of about 69 XP on Great Plains, and then just build a house for population. Basically, the mosque trading post build order for Ottomans is so they can maximize their shipment arrival times, since unit shipments is one of the most critical parts of the Ottoman civ. After 30 years old, we just get old for that. 33 here. Oh man, these guys are some old coots here. They're already in their 30s. I'm still in my 20s, thankfully, so I'm not a geezer yet. Looks like Ottoman's going capitalism first. Gold trickle. That means probably looking at a fast fortress from them. It's always a sign that you're going to get a fast fortress when you get a gold trickle first. Though he claims through the deck name that it's a semi-fast fortress. So there's a chance that we might see some Janissaries being queued from barracks before that age up to age 3 is clicked in. We'll see though. Especially since the opponent is Aztecs. As we saw in the Aztec Mirror at the start of the stream, Aztecs can be very aggressive and all in with their rushes. It's something that one of the fellow Juanito Hueleros, Chorizo Zarate, was pretty well known for doing, was going with these all-out Aztec rushes. Maybe we'll see that here. Or maybe the Aztec will also go for a fast fortress. That is something new about the 5th edition, which I think Widgie and a few others covered, is the fact that Aztecs in Definitive Edition are actually much more capable of Fast Fortress than they were in the Legacy game. So maybe that's what we'll see. It'll be interesting though. So what's the deck called? 1v1 Fast Fortress Aeronite. AK stands for Aeronite, by the way. So yeah, that should be pretty interesting. So looks like we're gonna have a Fast Fortress with the Ottomans and one from the Aztecs too. Alright, so Aztecs go with the messenger first. And then how they speed up their next age up is actually through Kalmakek, so that the next council member you research or are researching will age up twice as fast. Neat little trick. Ottomans going up with the Naturalists to get some villagers and yummy food from the herdables. That's always good. From what we've seen so far, what these Ottomans do is they go for the Fast Fortress, and then the first thing they get out is the Safahis, because of their high stats and their splash attack as cavalry. Wonder if that's what we'll see again here. We'll have to find out. And we'll have to see what the Fast Fortress looks like for the Aztecs as well. Alright, so Ottoman's going to get an 85 wood treasure. Depending on how much wood treasures you get as Ottomans, you could potentially go for the middle trading post. And that would help their unit shipment arrivals even better there. Yeah, that would be pretty good. Alright, so 700 gold, 700 wood. Yep, definitely go in naked Fast Fortress there. How about for Aztecs? Aztecs right now have about 4 warrior priests on their community plaza since they did the 3 warrior priest shipment in there, and currently are putting all their villagers onto the community plaza just so they can eke out the other 6 warrior priests that they're lacking in the build limit. That's pretty good because warrior priests have stronger weight on the community plaza than villagers do, and by weight I mean basically a warrior priest is going to have a much stronger reward effect of the current dance you're doing than the villager is going to provide. And thus you can basically allow all your villagers for the most part to focus on economy while the warrior priests facilitate the community plaza for you. Which is something you usually don't get with the other native civs, is something so cohesive and strong as that, yeah. How many warrior priests you on? You're on 7. That's quite good. You just need... Well, looks like he's going back on the XP now to catch up on shipments, it looks like. That'll be quite good. Alright, so now we see Kanisi went with his big bun of 4 Jag Knights, and he's currently aggroing the mosque. Look at that. Look at that mosque. It's almost down. Unfortunately, his guys are too barred up at this point, and he won't be able to continue that, sadly. Ottoman player will ship in Janissaries, though, to stop this constant raiding of his mosque. War Chief comes in there and denies the repair, and will continue to chip off HP of this thing. Is also training Janissaries too, so mostly going for a Janissary stack. Aztec is shipping in 600 gold, right? So they can get their own Fortress Age going as well. And just like the deck name suggests, probably some good Aeronite gameplay here, alongside probably the Urks, the Eagle Rare Knights for Dragoons, and then the Jag Knights, their anti-musket and cavalry capabilities. Yeah, most definitely Jag Knights will be a great addition. If you're dealing with a tanky musket like the Janissaries, you need something strong like the Jag Knights to take them out in melee, and maybe even some untaunted slingers to hit them in range as well. Politician will be the Elder. Doesn't go for Kalmakek, just going for the wood, it looks like. Honestly, a pretty good idea because you don't know how hard this Ottoman is going to come in H3. Looks like he already has the veteran Janissaries, already has the free 4 Abyss Gunners from the Marksman Politician. So they're already coming in with a bit of a formidable army there, yeah. Going back to Ottomans, 2 Falconets arriving in from their home city. Falconets will be pretty tough to deal with, but if the Aztec does go for some successful Arrow Knights, they could just snipe them from long range. That's what gives the Aztecs a bit of an advantage against artillery at times, is the fact that their Arrow Knights can basically become artillery snipers, pretty much. And they got the rate of fire of an archer too, so they're firing pretty quickly. Those deadly anti-artillery arrows. So Falconets are going to come in for the town center there. Like that. Jans and Abbas trying to fight. Ooh, look at all those Jag Knights on top of them. That's pretty good. Those multipliers are really eating those Janissaries. Quite nice. They're even cutting into the Abbas Gunners too because of their high melee damage. Right. Oh man, he cleans up all the Janissaries and Abbas Gunners there. Very, very nice. Quite the turnaround too. How was he able to pull that off? So what he ended up doing was he ended up calling his second big button technology there at the town center to eke out a huge emergency batch of the Jag Knights. Yeah, smart thinking. Not only that, he also sent his support shipment of Arrow Knights too. That'll be quite good. Basically, when you send this card, it boosts the Arrow Knight's attack, as well as giving him some crush armor too. So really good artillery snipers once you get that for them. This puts Aztecs in a pretty interesting position because now they have some anti-musketeer units here in the Jag Knights, plus a way to actually threaten Ottomans' buildings with the arrows. Unfortunately though, Ottomans are going to hit in pretty deep. How many barracks do they got? They got single barracks right now. They're just playing heavy, hard, all-in veteran Janissary push right now to prevent Aztecs from getting any sort of distinctive advantage, which I think is a pretty good tactic there. These villas, though, were caught in the crossfire and they have to find a way to pull out, which looks like they do. Looks like Arrow Knights can hit in deep with their rate of fire, and perhaps some of those Jag Knights can also work their multipliers in as well, which would be great. Quite good. Oh man, look at that. Oh wow, look at that big batch of Jag Knights there. Very nice. Very, very nice. That'll force the Janissaries to do some kiting to try to fight them. Quite good. Looks like a few more Janissaries join the fight. I believe the Janissaries should be able to kite these guys. It's just going to be really tedious. And now Ottomans finally bring in some Abyss Gunners through their foundry to finish off this Jag Knight threat. A few Anton Slingers here too. They're doing some pretty okay damage to the Jans as well. Oh wow, one of the emergency archers finished off a Janissary. Quite good. Looks like Aztecs are going to move forward with a Noble Hut on top of this mine here, as well as covering this hunt section over here on the corner. That's going to be a huge map control play by the Aztecs. Very nice. Ottomans also making sure to get veteran Abyss, since they will be shipping in their 6 Abyss Gunner card now. Aztecs getting veteran upgrade on their untaunted slingers, since they're going to be fighting a ton of Janissaries here, as well as shipping in 9 Jag Knights. 9 Jag Knights, that's going to be a huge shipment there as well, yeah. Whoa, look at the Arrow Knights trying to fish in the Abyss Gunners. That's an interesting idea. Technically, the Arrow Knights are a bit competent in dealing with Abyss Gunners because they have a bit of crush armor now thanks to that support card. Ooh, look at this. Wow, using the stealth mode on the Jag Knights to ambush the Abyss Gunners, leading to multiple casualties of them. Not a bad idea. Not a bad idea at all. Just so you know, in Age of Empires 3 Native American civs, if any of the units has Prowl in their name, that means that they can go into stealth mode. Like for the Haudenosaunee, they have the Forest Prowler, which means that it can go into stealth mode. The Lakota have the Tajunki Prowler, which can go into stealth mode. Aztecs got the Jaguar Prowl Knight, which can go into stealth mode. So if any unit has Prowl in the name, it means it can go into stealth mode. Bet you didn't consider that commonality, but it's there. Any unit for a Native American civ that has Prowl in it automatically has a stealth mode capability, and thus can do good ambushes like that. Quite nice, actually. Looks like Arrow Knights and Untauntons have to do their best there to fight the Abyss Gunners. Very good central map control position there Kinesi's doing. Right now he's on the XP dance at the community plaza. Does he have all 10 warrior priests yet? I know before he only had 7. Yeah, no, he hasn't added in the other 3 yet, looks like. Aztec is adding Arrow Knights and more Slingers. Whereas the Ottoman player is getting the beefy Safahi shipment finally, as well as queuing in some more Janissaries. I think Safahi is always a game changer when you're playing as the Ottomans. It's one of their bigger heavy hitter units that, if done right, can totally devastate the enemy. Right, Aztec is also trying to wall this area off to add a bit of a even further choke point between the native site and the little pond there. Does Aztec even have any sort of anti-cav to answer Safahis? Looks like right now, no. They just got archers and slingers. Not good for fighting those armored cavalry. Not at all. That will not cut it. Right, so he's going to queue in some Urks, right? Some Eagle Rare Knights from this noble hut. Is he going to queue in more? Yep. Make sure you queue in as many as you can so you can use them against the Safahis at range. And just pick them apart. Basically, Eagle Rare Knights for the Aztecs are like foot dragoons. They are considered shock infantry, so sort of that foot cavalry. And then the multiplier is against cav. So basically, yeah, just like a dismounted dragoon. Ottomans taking no time to get that house down and start pressuring the forward Nobilet. Take away a little bit of secure map control that Aztecs have enjoyed thus far. Noble hut up here I just noticed on the corner here to secure this mine and this hunt. Ottomans at this point are going to go after all the little structures that Aztecs have set up at this point, it looks like. Forced to send in the Coyote Runner shipment at this point to pressure the Abyss Gunners. As well as, again, their veteran upgrade, it looks like, too. Yep, elite Coyote Runners. Oh, my screen is moving super fast. Alright, so more Arrow Knights. Followed by... Oh wow, again the Temple of Zeit Totec support. This essentially adds more damage and armor onto the Coyote Runners, making them a bit more durable from range attacks. Particularly a pierce damage type. Let's see what the Arrow Knights can pull off with their super range. Basically, are going to be used to snipe the Abyss Gunners pretty much. The Arrow Knights at this point are a bit negligible since the Safahi shipment has been burned through. The batch of Abyss Gunners joins the fight, it looks like. Calling the war song to get some Arrow Knights from the town center. Good choice for the big bun. At this point, it's trying to take advantage of long range and just snipe them away with these Arrow Knights, it looks like. Oh lad, how many warrior priests did he lose? All but one? That's pretty severe. No. Once you lose a warrior priest as Aztecs, then you have to go onto that warrior priest stance again to recover him, and it can be pretty taxing to do. Also, the Ottoman got smart and decided to charge the Arrow Knights head on, and thus eliminate them pretty quickly. But it does seem like with the right numbers of Arrow Knights, you can beat infantry, because the Arrow Knights and their whole archer thing actually have a really good rate of fire of 1.5. Thus, they're rarely doing 26 range, 36 range damage for every 3 seconds, whereas, you know, a skirmisher might do around the same or less with it if the unit is in heavy infantry per se. Gotta love how this Aztec is constantly harassing this Ottoman, not giving him an ace or a quarter, and constantly wiping out their elite troops using these Arrow Knights, as that means.
Come on, say. Montney. Montney.
Montney.
Oak. Some spontaneous Eagle Runner Night movement there I didn't even see initially. Actually getting some raiding done, which is not bad at all. Not bad at all. Good thing he had all those Urks there, otherwise those Mamluks would have totally wiped him out. Alright, so Siege in the Town Center looks like quite good.
Commencez.
Forest People Ceremony.
Commencez. Oh.
That was the town center before that the Mamluks were going after. Do the Almonds have... Yep, they're a double town center too. Good thing, actually. They're gonna get the third one here on this gold mine. That'll be a really good place to set it up. Who ended up winning that one? That's unfortunate. Never like those things when they occur. Alright, let's go into the next match now. Just loading in the next one. Quarter games. Let's go down. King of Osmane versus Anubis. Let's see this one now in Group T. Anubis is France and King of Osmane is the Germans. Always an interesting matchup when you see one, typically. Alright, so let's see who ends up winning this one. It looks like France will start their trading post right now, right? Yep. It's always pretty standard build order for French to get a trading post at the start of the game. It really benefits them well since France is kind of a fast fortress friendly civ. You know, they rely on a lot of powerful Age 3 shipments. 2 Falconets, 8 Skirmishers, 3 Cuirassiers, 5 Dragoons, all of those. So, even if France ends up starting out with military in Age 2 with muskets, it's better to get that shipment conga line going sooner so they can get those very powerful mid-game shipments later, basically. Whereas the Germany is going to go for possibly a different variety of different strategies. They could go mercenary, they could go native, they could just play normal combat deck. We'll have to see what their overall strategy is. But something you see always with the German player is they always go for an early market and then get the hunting dogs technology. That's because the 3 settler wagons you start with, insane gather rate, on par with 2 villagers. So if you can get hunting dogs onto those, it's going to be very rewarding for you, to say the least. It's going to be very beneficial. Let's see what this deck looks like. So, land. This looks like sort of the caliber of Germany decks we've seen this whole tournament. Basically, viability for H2 with, you know, crossbow, Yulon, doppels, all the resource crates you could ever want. And then in H3, they got their skirmisher cards, Yulon cards, their war wagon one. And then the key mercenaries, the Black Rider and Jaeger. So yeah, this looks like kind of a run-of-the-mill tournament Germany deck. Nothing too wacky, to say the least, but should be effective. And what about the... Yep, we looked at the French deck, right? Yep, Principiante. So, yep, basically 3 Hussar, 8 crossbow, your resource crates, and then H3 is where you try to go big. You know, your 2 skirmisher shipments, your Dragoon one, your Cuirassier one, your Falcon M one. Also, Black Riders. Has a Black Rider card here, too. So, if you run out of anti-cav, you can get this as well. Age up will be Core Master for 400 wood. Assume the same with Germany, right? Yep, 400 wood. Also picking up the Gang Saw to help with the wood chopping rate as well. That's because Germany, as you know, in at least the 5th edition, doesn't get any sort of musketeers. They get a lot of trash units, crossbow and pikemen. But their only food and gold starting out unit being the Doppelsolner. And that thing is very expensive, so typically going pike and shot with Germany can be pretty viable, especially if you mix in the free Ulans you get with your cards too, so that way you have a bit of extra layer of anti-skirmisher as well. Looks like the Germany's also going to go for placer mines as well, potentially setting up for an H3. We'll see though. In steel traps now. Again, because those Sutter wagons have such a great gather rate, any market text you can get for them early on is going to help out your overall German economy. Alright, 3 Sutter wagons is coming in now. Going stable with Ulans. Bit of pressure there with raiding. France, just like with the other ones we've seen, they're going to go Musketeer here. Good start. Overall, Musketeers will be a very formidable push, and it will sort of force Germany to rethink their defense with all these Ulans that they're doing. Alright, so muskets and Ulans will connect. Oh wow, he was a bit delayed. Okay, yeah, now you can get him. Now you can get him. If only he noticed it a few seconds earlier, he could have maybe taken out 1 or 2 of the Ulans. Now they're just sort of on the loose, and they can threaten his CVDs. That's not good. So muskets do reach the German base. This guy's totally prepared and isn't going to let him just wipe out any builds that easily. Also, the Germany called out Minutemen as well to wipe out that batch of muskets too. Musket's doing a good job to scare up the Ulans, it looks like. Very solid. France is ready for H3. Here comes those big boy H3 shipments that I was talking about. This one, this one, this one, this one, this one, this one. Also going to pick up placer mines now to make the gold income a bit better. Germany also aging up with exiled prince to make you go fast. French is also going exiled prince. We're going to see a lot of H3 unit action now. This should be quite neat. Looks like the Germany also has the barracks established, so they will be able to get skirmishers as they need, as well as Ulan war wagon from the stable. because they've dealt with so much Yulon trouble, the France will obviously start Dragoon, as well as queue up a Dragoon at the stable and queue up a Skirmisher at the barracks. Actually getting two now. So going Skirmisher Dragoon. That's a pretty formidable combination that's hard to counter because the Skirmishers sort of deal with all the infantry and the light cav. And then the Dragoons deal with the heavy cav and the artillery that can friend the Skirmishers. So both units do a great job at supporting each other at range, typically.
J'ai repris des forces.
Trying to see where these Dragoons end up here. Okay, so they do raid the settler successfully. However, the Germany has skirmishers now, so it won't be that easy to get around with these Dragoons anymore. Oh, got the 3 Cuirassier shipping as well. That's going to be a huge advantage for the French. However, the Germans have also shipped in their war wagons, so it's going to be a little tough. Basically, finding a good opportunity to strike with the Cuirassiers without getting picked off by those war wagons, since they're both behemoths in what they do. You know, war wagons are a real behemoth of a Dragoon because of their good damage. And then the Cuirassiers obviously a behemoth of a hand cav just because of their splash attack and overall good stats. Looks like the France is also going to get in their Falconet shipping as well to deal with the skirmishers. But again, we gotta be careful because Germany has so many Uhlans, they could easily rush those cannons very easily, or send the war wagons to pick them off too. French getting out of barracks here because they just lost one that they had before.
J'ai repris des forces.
Germany also queued in some war wagons from their stable, so even more anti-cav on the field for the Corsairs to watch out for. Yeah, especially since he's training more of them, he's got to be careful there.
Votre ordre? Oui. Votre ordre?
Alright, so Yulon's closing in the front. Look at how many of them there are, by the way. This is a bit insane. Also queuing in some more war wagons. I think those Corsairs are definitely a sitting duck, though, for France. Musketeers are going to have to retreat now. Alright, Dragoons are actually being shredded by those Yuans because they're high damage. The thing about Yuans is, though their HP is very low, their attack is pretty high, so if you have that many of them, it doesn't take a lot of them to start eating through these high HP units like the Corsairs, the Dragoons, and then mooching the underbelly of the skirmishers. GG. Very cool match there. Yeah. Very nice match overall. Big time. Alright, so now I gotta do some work stuff for tomorrow. I actually have a show I'm covering with all their software stuff, so I can't stream for too late tonight, but thank you for everybody that came. Signing off now from the stream. I don't know, should I stream more PK Tournament stuff tomorrow before the DLC release on Tuesday? Or, yeah, maybe we will. Maybe we will. Alright, so see you tomorrow. We'll have a big boy PK Tournament stream maybe. So that way we'll be all done with it for the most part. And then we can do the AoE2 stuff on Tuesday, obviously. And then maybe cover Wars of Liberty on Wednesday or something. And then cover Age of Mythology campaign another day. Yeah, that's cool. Yep. Awesome. Yeah, see you tomorrow, man. Thank you for showing up and staying through the whole thing. I really appreciate it. I appreciate everyone that stays throughout the entire stream. It just brings more quality to my time streaming and gives me somebody to talk to, which is great. Yep. So see you then.